friends, it's me, Cindy. Today we're going to talk about 4 things we can do to jumpstart our weight loss, and there are 4 W's that are easily to remember. The 4 W's of jumpstarting our weight loss during this time where we're all inside. I mean, some people are starting to be able to go out a little bit more, but we're not doing the things we usually do. We're not as active. We're not with friends. We have to do some things, make adjustments. So, my weight loss has kind of been at a standstill for the past month, and I did gain 2 pounds, which, I guess it happens, but I really don't want it to go any higher than that and start to lose again. So I started to do a few things to help jumpstart my weight loss, and number 1 is referring to about water. Okay, so I was going to say I started drinking more water again, but the truth is I cannot stand water. I mean, I know that sounds ridiculous. I know water, people will say, has no flavor. To me, it has a flavor that's unpleasant. And it's not just like my local water, it's any water anywhere that I've ever lived or eaten or drank or whatever. I don't like water. And I started drinking over the years. It got worse and worse, but up to a 12-pack of Diet Coke a day. Mostly without caffeine, or I would be like total, basket case. But yes, I've been drinking a 12-pack of caffeine a day. It is bad for me. It's expensive. It's just helps you. People have been telling me for decades that it just keeps the weight packed on. It's very high in sodium, so you retain water. Just not good. But my husband did something wonderful for me in life, and he found me this. And I actually heard about this in a Facebook group on Weight Watchers. Crystal Light, and this is called Crystal Light Liquid. This is the blueberry raspberry flavor. So what this is for $2, you get 24 servings of liquid Crystal Light. You see how tiny the bottle is. If it's right in the palm of my hand, weighs a couple ounces, and I think it's about couple ounces of fluid. And so since I don't drink water, I found out after looking into this on the Weight Watchers app and talking to my coach that this is now considered like a serving of water every time you have a serving of this. So I was like praying that this tasted good. So I got out my handy dandy 24-ounce tumbler, which I bought for water and never used, and I filled it up with ice water. Look, you can hear, put a few drops of this in there, and it is so delicious, so good. I have actually, over the past just 2 weeks, almost completely replaced my Diet Cokes with this. So good, so good for you. Weight Watchers, again, is counting this as water, so go for it. Drink as much of it as you want. Track it in the app under the water tracker, and you are good to go. So why does this jumpstart your weight loss? Because the more water you drink, the more waste products you expel, the greater your weight loss, the less bloating, so less water retention. So we want to be drinking water. So number 1 way to jumpstart our weight loss now when we're staying in is to increase our water intake by making it something we love to drink, which just may not apply to all of you. I know some people love to drink water. Crystal Light, it comes in, this is blueberry raspberry. We also have strawberry lemonade. There's also a cherry flavor that has added caffeine, which I've tried, but I don't think it really adds caffeine, and I don't love the flavor as much. So I don't really see a point for me to buy that, but it's definitely there. And this also comes in different flavored iced teas, so regular and decaf. And I have not been able to find those at my Walmart. I may go on Amazon and see if maybe I can order some. So this is $2 a bottle. It lasts me 2 days. 2 days worth of soda costs me $10. So it's 1/5 the price, and I am just delighted. So jumpstart your weight loss, more water via Crystal Light in your 24-ounce tumbler that you never really drank water out of anyway. Okay, number 2 is waiting. So by waiting, I mean if you're at home, you're not used to being at home, or you're not used to being on WW while you're home, maybe you have kids around who are not able to go to school, but whatever, if you whatever your circumstances, if you're home, you're around food 24/7 in that kitchen of yours, right? So it's very easy every time you walk by the kitchen to think, I would love such and such a food. And when you start to get into grazing, now I have been a big grazer my whole life. I had gastric bypass surgery in 2003. My stomach is about the size of an egg still, even though I didn't lose all the weight. My stomach's still tiny, and I can only eat a very small bit at a time. So I got into that trap of grazing throughout the day. So, the second, W is waiting, which means if you feel like you want something, and especially if it's a meal, but it's not really time for a meal, you want to try to pass a little bit of time. Now, as a psychologist, I can tell you that if you are going to get something to eat, but you occupy your mind for a minimum of 5 minutes doing something else, that within 5 to 10 minutes, your desire to have whatever you wanted, whether it be food or another desirable thing, then you will temporarily forget about it. So there are a bunch of different ways to wait and do other things to sort of distract yourself from that food that you really want. One is, if you're in the mood for a meal, then have a snack. And if you're going to have a snack, pick something that's 0 points. So I'm on the blue program. 0 points for me is most fruits, most vegetables, eggs, chicken, turkey, fish, white meat rather, fish, shellfish, and finally tofu and tempeh. Those are my 0 point foods. So like this morning I had breakfast at 6:30, and by 8 o'clock I was hungry again. Well, that's no time for me to have another meal or even anything that had any points. So I cut up a bowl of strawberries and had a big glass of water, and was able to wait now until it gets closer to lunchtime to eat again. Okay, so number 1 W is to drink more water however you can get it, and I am introducing hopefully to Crystal Light drops. Number 2 is waiting. So waiting to have that gratification that you want to eat something by distracting yourself, doing something different. Even if you can only put it off by a half an hour, that's a good thing. And of course, you'll want to track everything. Okay, so number 3 W of ways to jumpstart your weight loss when you're home and you can't really grow out is walking short distances. So if you are anything like me, and I suspect that some of you are at least, you have not been much into exercise in your life, and some of you have been, so I don't mean to discount anything that you have done in your life, but I have a hard time exercising, mostly because I've been so overweight most of my life that I get so out of breath and everything hurts, and I don't want to feel that way, so I just don't bother and get short of breath, so who needs it? But now that we are allowed out of our house and into like the parks and places like that, or even if you're not allowed in your state yet to go out, you can walk around your house, outside, circles around your house, or maybe partway down your block a few times a day. And maybe that's not the same as like going out and walking a mile, but if you do it a few times a day, it can really add up. So if you want to see, your weight loss jump started, you can do a little more walking. Even if you are doing some exercise, you want to jumpstart your weight loss, just add some walking. And I'm saying that because that's what I can do. That's sort of my level of fitness, is that I can take short walks. Some of us, are into lifting, powerlifting, CrossFit, all these things. And by all means, if you're able to do those things, that's fantastic. I'm not able to do those things, so it's just my recommendation for people who, need to start getting moving more, that an easy way is just to slowly work it into your schedule and take short walks. So we've got drinking more water so that we can have this Crystal Light in it to help us. Waiting to eat bigger snacks or meals until you've done something distracting that puts it off somewhere for you. Walking short distances nearby several times a day. It won't hurt you physically. It will only help you, and it will also help you psychologically, because just getting away, getting some time for yourself, putting some earbuds in, or just listening to the birds, whatever you do, is all good. And doing a little walking is a lot better than doing no walking, right? So, okay, and finally, what I have done to jumpstart my weight loss during this time that I got back to doing this week is to attend my weekly workshops online. So when I joined WW, I joined only as a digital member. When I say only, I'm not saying that's not good enough. I'm saying I did digital and not workshops. And then I wanted to wait and see like if I was going to have some success, because I didn't want to pay for workshops for a program that I hadn't really taken, seriously. So that was from the end of October, November, December, January, and then at the end of February, I exchanged my membership to digital and workshops. But then, of course, like 2 weeks later, we couldn't have our workshops because of the spread of this virus. So I saw that they were going to have them online. I'm like, what am I going to get out of that? It's just, a bunch of people on a screen, and I don't want to look in a video, my hair's a mess, or, it's in the middle of the afternoon and I'm not in the mood. I have other things to do. Well, that's what I thought too. And then a couple weeks ago, I went to, attended a virtual workshop on Zoom. And it wasn't my leader, so my coach, so I was a little bit disappointed in that. But it was still very valuable. I learned a lot. There were like 50 people on there. You can choose whether you are on video or not when you speak. You can turn your microphone on or off. If you want to, you can digitally raise your hand so they know you want to say something. But you can just sit and listen, and no one will see you. It'll show up that you joined the group. It'll say, Cindy B joined the video, or joined the session. But you don't have to do anything but listen and take notes if you want to, if that helps you. But this 2 weeks ago, my own coach, decided she was going to start doing one for all the people who come to her meetings in my town on Saturday mornings at 7:30 and 9:30. And it's at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm like, I've got so many other things to do at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, right? Well, but 2 weeks ago, I attended her meeting, and it was great. I got to see the people that I normally see at my meetings. I'm used to this coach. She's like loaded with personality. She's very motivating. And I got so much out of the workshop that a few days ago on Saturday, when it was time again, I was so excited to go, and I logged on and I hear, oh, hi, Cindy, welcome. And I was like, oh, here's all my people from Weight Watchers. So the way that jumpstarts things for me is that, I feel accountable again. There's Jackie, the coach. She knows, she asks what kind of week you had. You got to answer her, You don't have to, but, it's just, even if you stayed the same or you gained a half a pound or a pound, and she'll say, well, what worked for you, what didn't work for you, and you really get to talk things out if you want to. So this is perfect for if you're a little more gun-shy, or you're not feeling as social, or you didn't do your hair that day, you can just listen in. But it's a great way to jumpstart, is to attend these weekly workshops, get weight on that day in the morning if you want to, make that your weigh-in day, at least until we resume going to workshops. Okay, so to wrap it up, the 4 W's of jumpstarting your weight loss during the pandemic are: number 1, drink more water, and if you can't, add this. And this really jumpstarts things for me. Wait, even when you're hungry, wait to have a meal. Put it off 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. The longer you put it off, that's time you're not eating. So just try to delay, try to find something else to do, even if it's dusting, dusting a bookshelf, whatever. Just keep coming up with reasons not to eat. And if you do need to have something, have a 0-point food, like a bowl of strawberries, a banana, whatever you like that is 0 points for your program. Walking short distances if you feel hungry, it's certainly better for you to go take a little walk than to take a little walk into the kitchen. And finally, attending workshops. Then you don't feel as secluded, you don't feel isolated, you don't feel like you're missing out on anything, and you can attend. So I hope these tips have helped you somewhat. They helped me a whole lot. I hope you guys have a great weekend. I will see you next time. Bye.